Welkom by my Afrikaanse klas. Ons het nou die laaste karretjie graf volledig bespreek. En ek wil graag vir julle aanbeveel om vir julle hierdie guideline te kry wat vir julle baie kan help met die verstaan van die gedig, van die drama. Hier is byvoorbeeld Engelse opsommings van elke hoofstuk. Hier is vrae, hier is antwoorde. Dit gaan vir julle baie help. Goed, ons laaste les oor karretjie graf is moontlike vrae. Nou ouens, julle moet baie mooi verstaan. Daar is soveel vrae wat gevra kan word oor hierdie drama. Waarna ons nou gaan kyk, is maar 'n fraksie van wat daar kan gevra word. Wat baie belangrik is voordat jy aan die vrae werk, moet jy die inhoud van die drama verstaan. Jy moet die karakters verstaan. Jy moet die gebeure verstaan. Dit help nie om net vrae uit te werk nie. Dis nie die beste manier om voor te berei vir 'n eksamen of 'n toets nie. Die beste manier om voor te berei is om die drama te ken, om dit te lees, om dit te verstaan. Dan kan hulle eintlik enige vraag na jou kant toe gooi en jy kan dit beantwoord. Soos ek gesê het, hierdie is 'n fraksie. Kom ons begin. En ons kyk na die verskillende moontlikhede. Daar is ons prentjie. Goed, kom ons begin by die eerste een. Herorganiseer. Rearrange. Die onderstaande elemente, so the elements van die intrige, die verhaal gebeure. This is key. Chronological. So they want you, these are all moments in the drama. They want you to rearrange them so that they follow chronologically. And then they tell you, skryf slegs die letters neer. So only write down the letters, A, B, C, D, whatever the case may be. So kom ons gaan vinnig hierdeur. A, die hele gesin trek na die plakkerskamp, Tamatiestraat. Daai in moet uit wees. B, Kootgeduld en sy gesin woon langs die Seekoei rivier onder die brug. C, ouma Mita en die kinders kry baie swaar en sy sterf van ouderdom. She dies of age. D, Koot werk baie hard. He's working hard, maar hy slaan sy vrouens. He actually kills them. E, die einde van apartheid breek aan, net voor ouma Mita sterf. F, Koot beland in die tronk nadat hy sy tweede vrou doodgeslaan het. G, Sarah verskyn op die toneel en vertel die geskiedenis van die mense wat in die nuwe Suid-Afrika nie meer bestaan nie. H, Pincus kap die karretjie op en I, Koot kom uit die tronk en is kwaad vir Pincus oor hy die karretjie opkap. Now, I've given you the answer here. I'm not going to go back to the whole story now. But if you look at these now, if we start with B, that's where the story started. And then it will chronologically follow in that manner. So there is the answer for you. You can work through it by yourself. Is that okay? So actually what I wanted you to see here is that they can ask you, they can give you these points and ask you to rearrange them chronologically. Volgende vraag, verduidelik hoekom daar konflik tussen Pincus en sy pa is, nadat sy pa uit die tronk vrygelaat is. Wys die ironie uit. So, in your answer, talk to the irony in the whole situation. Sorry, I just repeated that there, it's not necessary. So the scene is where Koot comes out of the jail and he gets Pincus where he's chopping up the karretjie vir vuurmaakhout nadat hy die donkies verkoop het om kos en drank te koop. Koot is woedend, so he is very angry and he wants to become violent. The irony is, why was he in jail? Exactly for that same thing of becoming violent. And now this is his way of, this is his default button. If he's becoming angry, that's what he wants to do. It's ironic because Koot het nie vir sy gesin gesorg nie. He couldn't look after his family while he was in jail. And Pincus was the person who had to bear the brunt. He had to make a plan. But Koot could not understand that. He could not see that. And he also didn't learn that violence is not the answer. All right. Guys, what is important here? Vocabulary. Sometimes it means that you have to sit and memorize a sentence or a word or a phrase in order to answer these questions. So that's why I'm trying to circle the most important and underline the most important words. Kom ons gaan aan. Verlies, loss, is 'n baie belangrike tema in die verhaal. And then they ask you to give 4 voorbeelde, examples. 4 examples of loss in the story. Goed, so kom ons begin. Ouma Mita se dood, verseker. Koot se vrouens, die manier waarop hulle doodgemaak is. Donker, die hond, wat doodgekap is. En dan die karretjie mense se verlies aan die bestaanswyse. That way of life was lost. And also, a 5th one is, there were no dreams. There were no ideals. So there you've got the answer to that question. Goed, die volgende vraag. Verskoon my. Ooreenkomste. Can you see that it is very important for you to understand the question? And that's why I'm also underlining, because these are words that can come up all the time, not only in this drama, but also in the novels or the poems or whatever. Ooreenkomste, similarities. So what are the similarities between Ouma Mita and Sarah? What are the similarities? In which way or ways are they more or less the same? This is the important. Both of them are keen to help other people. If you think about Ouma Mita and her little pension that she used to help her grandchildren while Koot was in jail. She tried to comfort them with stories. Can you remember the story, the owl that took offense, and their traditions? So she tried to keep them on the good path, if you want to put it like that. If we think about Sarah, she's trying to improve Koot's understanding of what he actually did to his children. If we think about that scene where Tuk Tuk had the dog in his arms, the dead dog, where she said to him, you can do a good thing for him. You can bury him in your top. So both of these women had all the intention to improve the kids' lives. And that would be the answer to this question. Nog 'n vraag. Verduidelik. Verduidelik beteken explain. Verduidelik waarom die dramaturg, the person writing the drama, die intrige, verhaalgebeure, what happens in the story, achronologies vertel. Now here, you have to understand it's the opposite of chronologically. If you tell a story chronologically, you begin with number A and you end with Z. With a chronological, you start with J maybe, and you go to A, and then you go to E, and then you go to B. So it's a bit of a mix. Die dramaturg kan rondspeel met die gebeure. So it's the prerogative, dis die prerogatief, of in makliker Afrikaans, die keuse van die dramaturg, hoe hy die storie wil vertel. It also adds a bit of how you can create tension, né? If you don't tell the story A, B, C, D, but if you play a little bit with what happens. En hy werk met terugflitse, flashbacks, en vooruitskouings, predictions. So it's and predictions. When this is the case, 9 out of 10 times they're going to need a verteller, somebody that tells the story or fill in the missing bits, like we see Sarah did and Pincus did in the beginning of the drama. Goed, kom ons kyk verder. Ouma Mita word 'n paar keer met 'n kierie vergelyk. 'n Kierie. Can you remember what a kierie looks like? And there's usually that. And you use it to keep your balance. She's compared, vergelyk, compared with a kierie. Then they ask the question, why is it a geslaagde vergelyking? Why is it a good comparison? Why is it a comparison that works? Now they tell us, sy het ou mens pensioen gekry. Ou mens pensioen. And I don't even want to think what it was then, but now I think it's 1,780 rand that they get per month. In spreektaal, daar's 'n spelfout ouens, word daarna verwys as kiriegeld. So it's money that old people get. She was old and bent over. Pincus praat van haar met haar kort, I'm so sorry, kort kirielyf. So short, bent body. So she's this picture of being old, being bent over, and she uses her money to help. Wat interessant is, she was a good woman and she kept her family together. Sy het haar familie bymekaar gehou terwyl Koot in die tronk was. So she kept this little family unit together. She was therefore what they call a steunpilaar. She was a support pillar, a pillar of support for her grandchildren. And in that way, she was literally, figuratively, a kiri for them. Something to lean on, something to help you. And that is why this is such a lovely comparison, talking about Ouma Mita met haar kiri geld en haar kort kiri lyf. And she was really the kiri that they depended on to get through their life. Goed. Now this is a question where you actually need to be jumping up and down when you get this question, because you can write within limits. You can write anything here. They're asking for your opinion. So as long as your opinion is motivated by elements out of the drama or examples out of the drama, you have to get good marks. So the question is die karakters in die drama verantwoordelik vir die situasie waarin hulle self bevind? So let's look at the question. Are the characters in the drama responsible for the situation in which they find themselves? So think about that. Are the characters responsible for the situation in which they find themselves? Now, discuss this statement or question and motivate your answer. It's actually a question. Discuss this question and motivate your answer. So, you can say ja, of jy kan sê nee, en dan moet jy jou antwoord motiveer. As jy sê ja, bedoel jy die karakters is self verantwoordelik vir hulle situasie. Op 'n manier kan ons sê Koot is verantwoordelik vir die situasie as gevolg van sy drankprobleem. Dis hoekom sy vrouens doodgeslaan het, en dis hoekom hy in die tronk was, en dis hoekom hy nie vir sy kinders kan sorg nie. Aan die ander kant, die kinders en Ouma Mita was nie verantwoordelik vir die situasie nie. Dit was direk as gevolg van Koot. So, op daai manier kan jy nou sê, nee, die karakters was nie verantwoordelik vir hulle situasie nie. En dan motiveer jy dit. So, dis 'n wonderlike vraag. As jy kan motiveer, if you can motivate your answer, and if you can write your sentences with the proper word order, and you can use examples from the drama, then you should be able to get a good mark for a question like this. Goed, nou is daar nog maniere wat hulle kan vra. Byvoorbeeld hierso vra hulle vir jou om 'n informele brief aan jou vriend te skryf waarin jy vertel van die begrafnisrituele, so the funeral rituals of the Kariki mense. Now, when they ask you to write a letter, first of all, format, né? You have to have your address. And remember, in Afrikaans, dit is Kerkstraat 12 en nie 12 Kerk Street nie, all right? And then the date and all of that. Die ritueel is altyd dieselfde. Dit kan julle, daai inligting kan julle kry uit die drama se teks uit. Die liggaam is toegedraai in 'n kombers, die gesig wys na die ooste, gebruiksgoedere soos die pyp en die tabak en die snuif is altyd daar en hulle leef voort in die natuur. So the body decomposes and it becomes part of the earth and that's how they live forever. All right. Goed, mense, hier is 'n klomp. Daar's 3 slides, skyfies van kort vrae. Nou, dit is letterlik kort inhoudsvrae wat jy behoort die antwoorde van te ken. Ek gaan nou nie elke een van hierdie met julle deurgaan nie. Dis letterlik praktiese goed, soos, hoekom was die kinders ongeletterd? Why weren't they in school? Why did Kurt kill his wives? So, why did he get jail sentence after the second murder? This is also a type of question that you can come across. Match the columns. So they will give you the names of the characters and they will give you a characteristic of the person and then you have to mix and match. So this is also not difficult, provided that you know the detail. The devil is in the detail, guys. You need to know the detail, characters, places, things like that. And then here's some more questions. Byvoorbeeld, dink jy die Kariki mense sou in die nuwe Suid-Afrika kon aanpas? Again, one of those questions. Motivate your answer. Waarom kan Koot nie meer skape skeer nie? Why can't he shear sheep anymore? Because of the hands that were broken. So it's literally knowing the detail. Very, very, very important. And then there are some references. The last thing that I want to tell you, if you want to look for old exam papers to see if there are questions on the Kariki graf, you can go to Department of Basic Education, exam papers. This is a wonderful tool. You can, I think it's up to 2021, and I think it starts 20 something. Obviously, not all of these papers will have examples of Kariki graf because this is the last, they come in 3-year cycles that they use the prescribed works. But there are question papers and there are memos. Before you go to the memo, try to find the answer yourself. It's no good reading the question and then looking what it is in the memo. You have to try yourself and then you compare your answer to what is in the memo. That is my swan song about Kariki graf. I hope this will give you an idea. This will motivate you. And I really hope that you will experience a lot of success in answering your questions about die laaste Kariki graf. Tot 'n volgende keer.